and welcome to Red Lipstick. So today I am going to be showing you my everyday face base routine. So this is going to include everything from primer all the way up to bronzer, highlight, stuff like that. I'm going to be using all of my favorite products and the products that I go to the most when I'm doing my makeup. So my primer routine, like I've said, is pretty excessive. I use 3 primers, so you do not need to use this many primers. I use so many because they're all for different things and my skin has different needs. So the first one that I use is the Hard Candy Sheer Envy Coconut Water Primer Stick. This is a really wonderful, cooling, hydrating primer stick. So what I do with this is I just put it all over my face, like on the perimeter of my face. And then I go ahead and use my hand and kind of wipe it in. It soaks in very quickly. Sometimes it's even soaked in before I start like rubbing it in. Now the next one I use is the Smashbox Photofinish primer. This is the original primer and I use this for my acne pitting in the middle of my forehead. So this is meant for pore filling and filling any other kind of like fine lines, wrinkles, stuff like that. I use it to fill acne scarring. So I just put that right here. I also put it around my nose, on my nose, upper lip, and chin. Then lastly, for primer, I go in with the Hydrating Primer Mist from Hard Candy. You can see mine is all rubbed off on the front, but it's their primer mist. And I spritz that on my face. And what I really like about this is it's hydrating as well, and it's also really tacky. So once it dries down, the foundation will stick really well to it. All right, now onto foundation. So in all honesty, pretty much every day I use a different foundation. It depends upon what I'm looking for that day, if I want full coverage or barely any coverage, what kind of finish I'm looking for. So I have my favorites, and I've listed my favorites in my yearly favorites video, so I can link that as well. But one of those is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation. Today I'm feeling like a little bit more coverage, especially for my little milia mark there. So I'm going to go in with this. This has really nice medium to buildable coverage, and it has a beautiful finish that doesn't look dry on my dry skin. So I just go in with this, and I don't have a preference to what application to use for this. I like to use a brush or a sponge. It really doesn't matter to me. I don't find the finish looking any different. So I'm just going to go in with a brush today and apply this to my face. Alright, for concealer, I am going to be using the Tarte Shape Tape that everyone just loves. I am in the color Fair, and I'm going to be putting this on my under eyes, in the middle of my forehead, down the nose, sides of the nose, and chin. And then for this one, I do like to blend it in with a sponge because it can be kind of drying on my skin. So now, before the concealer has a chance to crease, I like to go in with an under eye brightening powder. I'm going to use the one from NYX. This is the one I've been really liking lately. This powder right here is a very beautiful, finely milled pink powder, which really helps brighten up very fair skin tones. If you have a darker skin tone, you want to use more of a yellow powder. So I'm going to go ahead with this right under my eyes. And for the rest of my face, I've been really loving the NYC Loose powder. I just go ahead and go in with a big fluffy brush with this and apply it to my entire face. I feel like this is such an underrated powder that's not talked about. It's so good. Now moving on to bronzer. I'm going to be using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I have the shade just Bronzer, and I take a big fluffy brush from Real Techniques, and I go ahead and bronze up my face. Now sometimes I contour, but most days I do not, so I'm not going to do that today because it's not a step that I usually do when I'm just kind of like running errands or popping out of the house, so I'm just bronzing. Now moving on to blush. The blush that I reach for the most is the Tarte Exposed blush. I've talked about this a lot. It's one of those universally flattering type of blushes. Just look really good on everyone. It's a nice neutral kind of mauvey pink tone. It just looks good with every kind of look. So I love this one. It's so effortless just to grab right out of the drawer and use. And then for highlight, my most used highlight lately is the MAC Lightscapade. This is such an old product. It's been used for years. It got really hyped up in the early YouTube days. So I really love it though because it has such a beautiful champagne tone when you put it on your face. You can see all these different colors swirled in here. It's like purple, pink, orange, champagne, peach, just a lot of different colors, and then they swirl together to create this beautiful champagne highlight. Alright, hopefully the camera is picking that up. It's just so beautiful. And that is my base. So I will be right back. I'm going to put on the rest of my makeup and show you what everything looks like. Alright guys, so here is the rest of my makeup on, and you can see this is what the base looks like. So it's a pretty standard base that can go with any look. I am going to be putting up a tutorial on this eyeshadow look, but this is very much out of my comfort zone. It's pretty warm. It is actually from the Kathleen Lights Morphe palette, which came out a while back. I don't think you can get this anymore, but I will check for sure and leave that information in the info box. But I'm pretty sure a lot of the colors, if not all of them, are permanent. So yeah, again, I'll leave the information down below once I check that out and see for sure. But yeah, it's a really great base. As you can see, the blush, even though it was more of a pinky tone, it still matches with warm eyeshadows. And yeah, so this is what I do pretty much every day when I'm just gonna run out of the house or go shopping, stuff like that. So I really hope that this was helpful for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and have a great day.